How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Today is the finale. The final stream, the final video, the final everything for True Colors: A Date with Deception. We are at the end of the final route, and whatever happens today, this is the end. It's very amazing and appropriate that the final stream takes place on the final Sunday of the year. I wish that this was my final stream of the year, but I am coming back and I'm streaming on New Year's Eve. So anyway, I play on Sundays. I get to play whatever game I want, and I've decided for the last 14-15 weeks to play True Colors. Very, very fun visual novel. It's been great to have Borealis in here for most of the streams to commentate and to answer questions I might have, that all of us have. But alas, all good things must come to an end, and that's what we're going to do today, is bring this visual novel to an end. And I'm sure that it will stick with us for a very long time. Hi, Andrea, how are you doing? So yeah, I guess we'll see how the Brianna route ends. I can no longer say Ash, my beloved. I have to now say Brianna, my beloved. What was the final thing that we did? Is it this one? That looks right. Right, we were going to the charity event. Or to the, awareness event? Whatever it is, we're going to that event. I guess I'm a bit early. Nope, I started streaming right on time. Although I will double check our Twitter account. See if it was tweeted about. Yep. I don't use Twitter anymore, I just use Blue Sky, but EAS doesn't post there because they can't schedule posts, so, oh well. I guess I'm a bit early. I'm accompanying Brianna to the event before it opens, which sort of gives me a backstage pass in a way. Kinda cool. Evening, Dim Lord. You excited for the finale? As I wait for her, I glance around at the nearby buildings absent-mindedly. For some reason, the longer I stand there, the more strange I start to feel. It's like some kind of unpleasant deja vu. What is this weird ache in my chest? Maybe don't eat that salami next time for lunch, huh? Oh. Isn't this where we... I remember now. I'm sure she'll be here. Probably just running a little late. It is the weekend of New Year's, between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah, there she is. Perfect. Yeah, I guess this is. It's just daytime instead of nighttime. And now I'm curious. Is this the exact same picture, just tinted different, or is this a completely different rendering of the picture? Anyway. I remember now. I remember now. On that dreadful night that I wish had never happened, we met on this street. This is where the venue for the original charity event was, that I surprised her with for our date. This side of town has a lot of small venues that are suitable for this type of thing, and I'm guessing that's why Brianna chose it. Is the necklace going to come up again, I wonder? Is it still in our jacket pocket, perhaps? Probably not. It's been, what, a month? 2 months? Even still, I can't fathom why she'd want to come here again and be reminded of all that. Tears almost begin to well up in my eyes as the horrible memories come crashing back into my head like a tidal wave. Now that I've made a little progress with self-improvement, I cannot believe that I ever approved of my behavior and intentions that night. What the hell was wrong with me? Well, it's really simple. I pressed the cross button, the X button, and you did it. That's what's wrong with you. You have to obey my commands. Well, okay, I know the answer to that now, but it doesn't stop disgust from rising within me. This is good. This is good. If you get to the point where you can look at your past actions and be disgusted with yourself, like it actually revolts you how you acted, that means you made progress. I really owe Brianna an apology. A genuine, sincere, and serious one. Do it. Apologize. I don't think she truly knows how I feel about it all, and she deserves to hear that from me at the very least. Choking down my emotions, I make a promise with myself to find a good moment to do it. I wait a little longer, and then I see her, striding purposefully through the crowd. My stomach jitters, and my nerves spike at the same time.
Hey.
Brianna, my beloved! She is perfect! Hey, Skull. Thanks for coming. Oh, that was a really low blow. No problem. Thanks for having me. What game? She smiles in a kind and dutiful way. For a moment, her eyes roam around the scene just as mine had done earlier. Is she remembering the same things I did? I think she might be. Her expression freezes for a split second, and a tiny hint of worry creeps in, almost like she's reliving a terrible moment in her mind. This is such a beautiful dress. It is! It's a beautiful dress. Ace Attorney, cool. Never played that. Heard good things. However, she suddenly shakes it off, straightening up and turning toward me more directly. Her poker face smile falls quickly back into place.
Well...
Shall we get going? There shouldn't be too much for me to do, but I want to make sure I'm there if anyone needs me.
There's so many things I want to say, but I can also sense how serious she is about this event. She really wants to do her best, and I'd better not distract her by dragging her into emotional stuff. Sure, lead the way. She nods, and we set off together. As we walk, it becomes obvious that keeping things casual for now is a good idea. Brianna chatters almost constantly about the event, sharing her excitement, her nerves, and her concerns for making sure it runs smoothly. She has a slightly uptight air about her, kind of like when she first started at our company. It's not constant, though. She flits between being fiery with enthusiasm and rigid with worry. I respond as best I can, trying to soothe her fears and encourage her. Oh yeah, by the way, you guys want to see something exciting? Look at this. It's my countdown clock counting down to when I leave for Asia, and as you can see, we leave in just 90 days and a few hours, 3 months from tomorrow. I'm excited. She brought up how Hanzo is Japanese and reminded me, oh yeah, I'm going to be in Japan in just a few months. I should be ashamed I never played Ace Attorney. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've been busy with other things. I'm sorry. I respond as best I can, trying to soothe her fears and encourage her. I think it's more important that I just act as a friend for her right now. The apology can wait. My man, you're lucky that you're even still her friend after all of this. Been to Japan twice. Nice. I have no doubt that this trip is going to be the first for me. I've fallen in love with the Japanese culture, and I already know, like, the 2 weeks that we're going to be there is not going to be enough for us to do most of what we want to do. So we're not going to push it. We're just going to be like, you know what? We're going to come back someday. Let's just have fun, relax, and enjoy ourselves and see what happens. We approach the venue, and Brianna halts for a second, running a hand over her hair nervously.
Okay, sure.
Right. Let's do this. I hope it goes okay.
I watch as she hesitates, feeling a strong sense of sympathy. From what she's told me about her struggles, I recall that her life was very inactive at one point. She never did much to put herself on display, take on any kind of active role, or shoulder any responsibilities. Her depression stole away both her motivation and her confidence. Yeah, it does that. Knowing this, it's incredible to see her being so proactive and passionate now, speaking up for those in need with both words and actions. She must be so proud of herself, and yet I could totally understand why this must be scary for her. She's not used to being this bold. That depression is probably still lurking in the background, whispering words of sabotage and trying to undermine her. No matter how far down the path of positivity you get, I don't think it ever truly goes away. Yeah, you mostly just learn to manage it. It gets easier to ignore, but gone altogether? No, I don't think that's possible. Not for me, Brianna, or anyone else. It's just the nature of mental health. Come on, Brianna. Don't listen to that demon. You can do this! Because you're the best! Brianna, I know I was kind of joking around last night, but I did mean it. Everyone in this community really does love you. You're always there for people. You never judge or scold. You're full of compassion, and the way you communicate it makes people feel good. None of this would be the same without you. She looks at me with surprised appreciation. Seriously, it wouldn't even matter if you totally messed up something tonight. Everyone would just laugh, give you a hug, and soldier through. You're really valued, Brianna. Who you are is already enough. Wow, Idiot Skull knows how to speak when he decides to. He knows how to have a way with words when he decides to, be nice about it. I force my mouth shut, feeling as though I've said too much or been too intense. However, Brianna's expression warms up and she breaks into a genuine smile.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Skull. I needed that.
My chest tingles. I'm glad I could help her feel better.
Nice.
All right, come on. Let's go in.
Her determination renewed, she climbs the steps into the building, and I follow. Huh. I've never seen this place before. This is new. Wow, this late in the game and we're still getting new backgrounds. Wow. Oh, look at this. This is cool. It's like a Comic-Con. I get the impression that it's used for various things, as the white walls and plain appearance are quite nondescript. For tonight, it's been transformed into a sort of convention room, with stalls and booths set up in lines everywhere. They packed a lot into the place. Brianna! Someone spots us immediately, beckoning Brianna over with excitement. I keep up with her as she heads over, but then I worry that I might be a distraction since I'm not a staff member. Are you sure it's okay for me to be here? I don't want to get in the way of anything.
Hey, it's fine.
No, it's fine. I told them you were coming with me. No worries.
Okay. We cross the room together, and before I know it, I'm standing in the middle of a staff meeting. We barely had time to say hello before more people swarmed us, wanting to double-check everything. I hang back a little as I watch the conversation. It's actually quite interesting. I get a full view of just how much they've all prepared for this and the level of hard work that's gone into it. As Brianna had told me at work, this place will play host to a market. Local artists, craftspeople, and businesses will be selling things, with all the proceeds going to the mental health charity they've participated and partnered with. Holy cow. I can read. Sometimes. There are also a few fun, silly things like a photo booth, a karaoke area, and a comic artist who will draw your portrait in an animated style. Oh, please tell me we get to do all of this with Brianna. I want to see the photo booth pictures of us with Brianna, especially if there's kissing involved. Come on. I take it from the silence that that's a no. As our group chat goes on, more and more people arrive to begin setting up their stalls. When the market area is almost full, the staff meeting moves to the next room, and I follow. Apparently, this is where the show will take place. It's quite small, but still a nice little theater. Is this the same theater where we took Ash on our first date? It looks familiar. I glance around, and the staff team continues to run through their plans for the night. I hear that there are going to be several acts playing music, reciting poetry, and even a short theatrical performance. I'm impressed. The event that Brianna and I went to might have had their big fancy auction, but I feel like this kind of thing would probably be more entertaining for most people. After the performances will be the personal stories from members of the community. I'm sure that's going to be emotional. I spectate for a while longer, and then everyone seems to relax slightly, satisfied with all the preparations. All right, it's almost opening time. Let's get to work. There's a whoop of agreement, and the place suddenly becomes a flurry of activity. The event has officially begun. I stroll through the market, zigzagging down the corridors of stalls and checking them out. The doors opened a little while ago, and a decent amount of people have already arrived. Brianna had apologetically left me behind to get on with staff duties, but I don't mind. She has a lot to do. I'm happy to wander around for a bit. Detached from the crowd, I entertain myself by watching the portrait artist draw a couple in a funny caricature style. He gives the guy a massive nose and the girl giant buck teeth. They roar with laughter when they see it. I've never had that. I've never done one of those. I've had plenty of family and friends who have, and they always look hilarious. I've just never felt like it myself, I guess. Hey, it's for a good cause. The karaoke booth is also fun to eavesdrop on too, and I see a stall selling some cool handmade game-related merchandise. I might buy something later. I'm just heading around a corner onto the next line of stalls when a sudden sound hits the air. Skull! Is that you? I glance around, searching for whoever had called my name. I don't recognize that voice. After a few seconds, a small cluster of people rushes toward me, grinning and waving. It is you! Brianna told us what you looked like. They're from the online server. Okay, nope, it's not people we know in real life. Amid awkward laughter, we all introduce ourselves. When they tell me their usernames, late-night conversations, and familiar profile pictures pop up in my head. I've technically known these people for months. They were among the first members who welcomed me when I joined, and they're probably the ones I talk to most. I'm trying to think. I feel like this route, the Brianna route, takes place over the longest period of time. The Malik route felt kind of, I don't want to say rushed, but it felt kind of quick. It felt like after the halfway point, we pretty much went to the Playhouse the very next week and put on our performance by the end of that same month. The Ash route felt a little more spread out, but this is literal months later. This is like, I would guess somewhere between 3 and 6 months. Just based off of all that has happened. Which, like that leads, leads credence, I guess, to the idea that this is the canon route, because it does take a while to get over this kind of a problem, and I don't know, it feels pretty natural for it to have literally taken months to get to this point. To the point where Idiot Skull is quite literally saying, thinking back on that night, and I am disgusted with myself. I can't believe I ever thought it was okay. You don't come to that conclusion overnight. It takes a while, so it feels perfectly natural. They gush about how nice it is to meet me in person, seeming even more hyped than they were last night. I get the feeling that an event like this means a lot to them. I chat with them easily enough, but there's a weirdness to it that I can't deny. Despite how open they are to me, I don't exactly feel like one of the gang. I think my old toxic stigmas about mental health have something to do with why I feel like this. I don't think I've entirely outgrown them yet. As much as I'd like to make proper friends with these guys, a part of me doesn't want other people to associate me with, well, the reason we met in the first place. It's so hard to stop those ignorant biases from rearing their ugly heads. The universe creates a moment of impeccable bad timing, too. Just as I'm thinking about all this, two familiar faces appear out of the crowd, greeting me with smiles. Two familiar faces? Oh! No way! Wow! This is the route. This is it. This is the one, the big one. We did save the best for last. This feels like all of the rest of them combined in the perfect way. Yo, Skull.
Hey.
What they said. Still have that problem. Somehow I feel as though I've been caught red-handed doing something bad, even though I'm just standing around and chatting. Oh, hey. Didn't realize anyone else from our office was coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we thought we'd swing by to support Brianna. Ash nods eagerly. Shamefully, I jump on the same bandwagon to save my pride. Me too. I thought it looked interesting. I cringe internally at my deceit, hoping that my fellow server members don't take offense. Introducing everyone would essentially reveal my mental illness status to Malik and Ash, and I can't handle that right now. Thankfully, the pair of them glance between us all and realize that they might be intruding.
Okay.
You seem busy, so we'll dip for now. Come find us if you want to hang. Yeah, okay.
See ya.
What they said. They shuffle off, and I let out a guilty sigh of relief. I shouldn't have been so evasive, but hey, it's cool. It's understandable. Ugh. Feelings are complicated. Sorry about that. Just some people from work. The other server members nod and accept it. I think at least two of them suspect that something's up, but before anyone can quiz me about it, a loud sound blares over the speakers. Good evening, folks. It's my pleasure to inform you that our show will begin in 10 minutes. If you're ready for some talented acts and heartwarming stories, please make your way to the theater. Literally saved by the bell. I just realized, how lucky are we this stream that the boss did not show up? Not Idiot Skull lucky, you guys lucky. Don't have to worry about discount Aussie boss actor. Be gone, bot. Boy, you guys are getting lazier and lazier, you know that? Oh, we should go get seats before it fills up. Thankfully, everyone agrees, and I'm spared from having to make up any more pathetic excuses to cover my ass. No more awkward situations, please. Well, that instantly means we're going to get a new awkward situation. we all know how this goes. Why would you say that out loud? Why would you ever say that? Well, it couldn't possibly get any worse. This is the same stage that we saw the Ash date. The singers on stage take a bow and everyone applauds. The show has been good so far. I've ended up sitting with an odd mixture of Malik, Ash, and some of the server members. To my relief, none of them have started any dangerous conversations. Everyone's enjoying the entertainment, so their attention is blissfully diverted from me. It's not actually the same place, rats. It's a theater with seats and my memory sucks. It's been literally months since we've seen the Ash route, so yeah. So this is an exclusive background to this. Makes sense. Speaking of attention, I keep struggling to keep mine on the show. For a surprising reason, Brianna is sitting next to me at the end of our row. Oh, we get to keep glancing over at her. Her eyes are up here, Skull. Now that the performances are underway, there isn't much for her to do until the midway point, when she'll be introducing the second half. She decided to join us until then, squeezing into the last free seat. My eyes flicker toward her every now and then, and her presence is almost intoxicating. Ah, we're still in love. Yeah, we are. Have you seen her? Last time we were at an event like this, our relationship was so different. It would have been alright if I'd reached across and held her hand, just like I want to now. My feelings for her haven't changed at all. Trying to simply enjoy her company, I go back to watching the show. The theatrical performance has started. We all cheer at the end, and then Brianna springs up from her chair, turning to us with slightly wide eyes.
Right, this is me. Wish me luck. I'm terrified.
She giggles nervously, and we all reassure her that she's going to be great. She thanks us profusely. Look at her! Compared to the dark background, she's practically shining. She is a literal angel. Just saying. I know she's not, and it's dangerous to assign that kind of a role to a real person. But come on.
By the way,
Would you save my seat?
She asks me this quickly, and I nod. Sure, no problem. I grab my jacket and drape it over the seat to indicate that it's occupied. Brianna flashes me a thankful grin before hurrying off. We love you, Brianna! Our whole group breaks into gossip, discussing her impending appearance and wondering what it'll be like. The one thing we can all agree on is that she'll be fantastic, regardless of how much she underestimates herself. We all wait excitedly, and then the announcer introduces her. Excuse me. She totters across the stage somewhat sheepishly, trying to look natural as she waves and smiles. Well, hopefully she's not wearing heels. Don't wear heels, and you'll be fine. She really is nervous.
hi.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight and supporting such a wonderful cause.
Her voice sounds a little timid through the microphone, but it seems as though the more she remembers why she's giving this speech, the more she relaxes. Before long, she's addressing everyone as though she's been doing it for years.
You know,
I feel very honored to be part of this team and help provide resources and a safe online space for those who suffer with mental health issues. I can't overstate how important it is for communities and charities like this to exist, and I'm thrilled that you've all come out in full force to show your solidarity.
She goes on to tell us how the money from tonight will be used and how strongly she feels about the event and what it represents. By the end of her terrible speech that she was worried about, she's practically glowing. Plenty of people have smiles on their faces, admiring her passion and taking it on for themselves. She's actually a fantastic speaker once she loses her nerves. She seems to have a great way of connecting with people. She finishes her speech with a bashful round of thanks, and the room applauds warmly. By the time she gets back to her seat beside me, her cheeks are beet red with embarrassment. What did I tell you? Oh, look at her! She's so happy! Oh, man. How do I hide this? How do I hide the UI? Someone tell me how to hide the UI. Triangle! I'm going to do a safety save. Just in case I screw this up. Not square, it's auto. Borealis, how do I hide the UI? That wasn't it. Not sure on console. Shoot. Circle? Nope. Oh, touchpad, duh. I just wanted to take a picture of her. It's the touchpad, by the way. It's literally the last one I tried. I mean, isn't that how it usually is? Of course it's the last one you try, because after you figure it out, you don't try anymore. It's in the last place you looked. Well, did you keep looking for it after you found it? No, then of course it was. She laughs melodically, fanning herself with her hand.
Yeah.
That was so scary. I think I did all right, though, once I got going.
Our whole row agrees, blurting out praises all at once. It only makes her blush even more, but she seems happy about it.
Hey.
Anyway, enough about me. The stories are starting.
She waves her hands as if to playfully shut us all up. We flash each other grins as we obey, settling down to listen. As the first person appears on stage, I steal a quick sideways glance at Brianna. You have a feeling it'll be a short stream? We'll see. I knew she'd be fantastic tonight, but I wasn't prepared for just how much it would make my heart ache. Well, tell you what, Dim, if it's really short, I could always load up previous saves and get some trophies. Which would mean getting bad endings. Surely that would entertain you. She's a brilliant, beautiful woman, and I'm such an idiot for losing her affection. It's not like this thought, is this music new? I don't think I've heard this before. This is so striking. It's not like this thought doesn't. Oh wait, yes I have. Have I? This is. Now I'm distracted by the music. It's not like this thought doesn't already cross my mind basically every day, but her bravery and flair tonight has really magnified it. It's awesome. It isn't, okay. Exhaling bitterly, I look back at the stage, reminding myself for the millionth time that there's no point lamenting that now. It isn't used very often, but it does show up on all routes. Okay. It's so... I don't know how to describe it. It's hauntingly beautiful. Like it's melancholy. She's still sitting next to me, and I have to be thankful for that. The atmosphere in the room turns from upbeat to delicate as the server members and charity people share their personal stories. With each tale of depression, struggle, and anguish, the audience grows more and more pained in their sympathy. When those tales, and then laded with heartwarming stories... Oh, I get it. When those tales are then elated with heartwarming stories about how mental health resources help them to transform their lives, the room almost buzzes with relief and joy. These people are so brave, getting up there and sharing all of this deep, dark, personal stuff. I can't help but admire their courage. I could never do the same. I also can't deny that these real accounts of struggle turned success are quite inspiring. I think it's too early yet, but I'd love to hope that one day I could have my own version of these victories to tell. I'm watching someone talk about their journey with bipolar disorder when something else catches my ear. Glancing at Brianna, I see that she's whispering with another staff member who's appeared at her side. They actually seem a bit tense. Their voices hiss urgently underneath the noise of the room. After a few more seconds, the staff member rushes away. Brianna swivels back into her seat properly, staring at her knees and looking pensive. Everything all right? I murmur it quietly so I don't make her jump, and she looks up at me worriedly.
Actually...
We've only got a few speakers left, but one of them has dropped out because they're too nervous. We're an act short.
She chews her lip anxiously as she thinks.
I guess we could just end the show a little earlier than advertised, but I don't want to shortchange the audience.
Her gaze hits my chest, but I don't think she's really seeing me. She's lost in a maze of internal stress as she wonders what to do.
I'm gonna see if I can sort something out.
I think I see where this is going to go. Before I could say anything in reply, she leaps out of her seat and dashes off. My first instinct is to stay put and simply watch the rest of the show, whether it's one act short or not. However, knowing how much Brianna hates letting people down makes me feel restless. She'll really beat herself up if they don't find a way to make this right. Swiping my jacket from the back of Brianna's now empty seat, I slip it on and hurry in the direction she left in. If I can do anything to help, I will. We'll hold you to that. Oh, this is new too. Hey, they got bottles of water just like I do. I tail her into a small back room. It looks like it's usually used as a changing room, but it's currently full of staff members pacing around and consulting sheets of paper. Lot of extra BGs in this route. Wow. This late in and we're still getting new ones. It's amazing. I sidle up to the group of people in the middle who are rapidly debating what to do about this hitch in the program. I really think we should try to find a replacement. I don't feel good about closing the show early. I appreciate that the crowd won't know that something's missing, but we'll know.
You know,
Can we ask one of the music or poetry acts if they can give us second performance? Us three already went around and asked them all. None of them have enough material prepared.
You did a good job. Everyone slouches collectively in disappointment.
Besides, we've had the entertainment part already. I think bursting into music again straight after all this emotional stuff will give everyone whiplash.
Not if it's Monty Python. The group chuckles, but it's not exactly a happy sound. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition! Anyway.
You're right. Another personal story would probably be best. Oh, I don't know anyone else who could do one, do you?
She directs her question to the whole circle, but only helpless expressions and shrugs rise up in reply. They really are in a bind here. Hey, we said we would do anything, even if that means we give our... Is that what the final question is going to be for this whole game? Is we have to decide whether we are going to give our story or not? And that'll determine whether I get a good route or a bad route. Is that what's going to happen? As everyone chatters worriedly about who they could ask, I gaze at Brianna. Her pretty features are marred with tension as she talks, and it makes me want to help even more. Is there anything I could suggest? A story would be best, and even better if it's a powerful one. Looking around, I feel like every person in this room could technically go up there and give a good speech about this topic in some way or another. All of us have been touched by mental health struggles, whether that's from suffering ourselves or banding together to help those who do. It connects us all. It's why we're all sharing this experience right now. There's definitely a perfect story for this moment, a perfect person to stand in that spotlight. I'm sure we don't need to search desperately. They're already here. As I gaze around the room once more, my heart tells me only need a single save at this point. You torture me. I have dodged 2 bad endings. That optional thing, I'm just going to say that. That counts. Which means I am not going to dodge this one. You know what? I'm actually not even that stressed out over it. A little. But okay, a lot. Shoot. I think we should tell our own story. We're very scared. We're very nervous. And I do recall that the bad endings for the other two routes were us relying on ourselves instead of looking to others for help. But right here, we're not looking to Brianna for help. We are offering our help to her, which is the pure antithesis of what has happened in every single scenario up until now. Everything in this game up until now has been us trying to learn how to be empathetic and how to stop being a jerk. This is the first actual decision in this whole game. The only actual decision in this whole game where we have the opportunity to make a decision to be selfless. And that's why I'm going with I'll tell my own story. I'm sure Brianna could tell a great story, but I'm very scared that if she does, she'll break down and cry, and I don't want to see Brianna cry. This could be the wrong decision, but it is my decision. I'm going with this logic, and I'm sticking with it. For the one time in our whole lives in this stupid visual novel that I love, Idiot Skull needs to make a selfless decision. Ending locked in. I'm getting a trophy no matter what. Good way of putting it. Good way of thinking it. Nice and healthy. Triple dodge. Give it to me. I already know. I don't know. I want the triple dodge. Wait, am I sure about this? Great start. I think I am. I could volunteer. For once in your life, do something for someone else. This is not something that I ever thought I'd do. Hell, it's the opposite of what I want in a lot of ways. Okay, I like that music. That's good music. Literally minutes ago, I was marveling at everyone else's bravery and feeling pretty sure about the fact that I could never have it for myself. Brianna had even asked me about this exact situation while we were at work, and I'd refused almost immediately. All those strangers, and Malik and Ash are here too. Do I really want them to know all the sordid, malicious details of my past? Look, there's a lot to go on here. We had that optional thing that went very poorly until we decided to share our past. When we shared our past, it worked out. When we were honest with our boss, it worked out. This route, this story is all about us doing the right thing, even if it's hard. And that's exactly what this is. Us doing the right thing. Stepping up and saying, guys, I'm imperfect and that's okay. I got better and you can get better too. That also factored in. Just remembering all of the stuff that happened in this route where we made the right decision, and the right decision was to just be honest, to just go up and be vulnerable. Being vulnerable, I think that is the biggest thing that Idiot Skull has struggled with. And this is the perfect opportunity to be the most vulnerable possible and make everything right. That's my logic. Office life will never be the same. They'll think I'm a freak. No. Wait. They won't. That's what all of this is about tonight, isn't it? People are loving this event because they're hearing raw, real stories of human struggle and how each person has worked to overcome them. You know, it could be worse. Malik could kill you. Just saying. It's not about what they've done or how low they've sunk. It's about how they're climbing their way back to goodness and stability again. That's what's inspiring. That's what's generating so much compassion. I won't be judged for what I've been. I'll be congratulated for what I'm aiming to become. Phasing back into the moment, I realize that my hands are trembling slightly. This idea scares the heck out of me, but knowing that I could make a difference is actually starting to feel more powerful than the fear. I'd save the event from an early end. I'd hopefully inspire a little more empathy and understanding from the audience. I'd stop Brianna from worrying. You know what? It might actually feel good for me, too. Hey, I think those pills are working, my man. Pity about the dry mouth and dizziness, though. Putting everything I hate about myself on display and seeing that it's actually not that bad after all, that's possible, isn't it? Also, I just realized we didn't have that really creepy inner voice. Is that a symptom of BPD, which is being pushed back thanks to the medication and the therapy? I wonder. We never did get that creepy inner voice. We got it in the other two routes, and that was, you know, leading up to the final decision, but here it's just straight up a nice, calm, what do I do? And this was kind of an obvious choice compared to the other two, which it wasn't really an obvious choice. Don't skip your meds, kids. God, what I wouldn't give to actually like myself properly. This is my chance. All right, fuck it. I'm doing this, and I better get on with it before anything stops me. I'll take the last slot! I feel as though my outburst almost totally silences the room. Everyone turns to look at me in surprise and disbelief. Yeah, there you go. There, I wasn't misremembering.
What?
Skull?
I'll do the last speech. I face her squarely, as though locking onto her eyes will help me to feel more certain about it. My story's not a pretty one, but it probably still counts for something, right? I'll share it if it'll get you out of trouble. She goggles at me in shock.
Really?
You're really okay with that? Saying everything?
The word everything must sound pretty harmless to everyone else, but for me and Brianna, it weighs a ton. A metric ton. Brianna's eyes widen slightly as we stare at each other. She knows exactly which parts of my life are so terrifying and risky to speak aloud, and I don't think she can believe that I'm ready to unveil them. Now I'm very curious about that guy who picked every single route incorrectly. I wonder what he picked for this one. I'm surprised that man even plays video games anymore after doing that many wrong in a row. I guess you can't tell me what he picked for this, because then that would tell me whether I picked right or wrong. I guess you could tell me after I roll credits, though. Or after the route ends. Yeah, that's what I think, too. Like, this progression feels the most natural. This feels the most true to life. And, like, being diagnosed with BPD and, to a lesser extent, the PTSD, but especially the BPD, that does make me think that that inner voice might have been like an actual literal voice screaming in the protagonist's head. And when it's properly treated, it can't do that because it doesn't exist anymore. So, yeah, that totally makes sense. I'm not sure I am either, but I feel like I've got to hold on to this random burst of courage while I've got it. Swallowing my doubts, I nod my head. Yeah, don't worry about me. I want to contribute. She doesn't reply, and both of us continue to gaze intensely at each other. The spell is only broken when another staff member joins the conversation. That's it then. We have the full roster again. What was your name? Skull? Idiot Skull? First name Idiot? Thanks so much for stepping in and saving the day. The noise level in the room shoots up suddenly as others crowd around to thank me. The atmosphere buzzes with activity and enthusiasm once more, making me feel dizzy. This feels good. We're not in the clear yet, but I do like that piano music. It's only ever played during the good ending in previous routes. I've handed a few sheets of paper and a pen and instructed to jot down some notes to help me plan my speech. Good idea. I need to organize my head. Before that, though, I head back over to Brianna, drawing somewhat close so that I can murmur to her secretly. I won't say anything about us, that night. That's beyond sharing. Yeah, that's the pills, it sure is. It's a trap. You'll see the bad ending. Yep, we're going to go up there, we're going to say something stupid, and, I don't know, we're going to be thrown off a cliff. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Probably for the best. But are you really sure that you're okay with this? It's a huge step for you.
She trails off, finding it pointless to go on. We both know the magnitude of what I'm about to do. I won't lie, Brianna. I'm kind of shitting myself here. I pull an over-exaggerated grimace in an attempt to make light of it, and she smiles slightly. But, I don't know, I just feel like I have to do it. I'm scared, but it feels kind of important that I do this somehow. That's all I can say. Look at her beautiful green eyes. Those are gorgeous, man. I can't entirely explain why I feel so compelled, but despite how much it goes against my nature, I can't seem to let the opportunity go. Brianna seems to understand. Her mouth closes to form a resolute line, and she nods decisively.
Then you should do it. If you're absolutely sure.
To my surprise, she reaches across and squeezes my arm. It's only a small gesture, but to me, it feels massive. Because she's been hitting up the gym. She's got really strong muscles and squeezes. Anyway, absorbing as much strength from it as possible, I nod back. I'm sure.
Nice.
All right.
She withdraws her hand, and I feel a little cold without her touch.
By the way,
I'll let you write stuff down. We'll come grab you when it's your turn.
Thanks. I turn away from her, feeling like I'm on autopilot. I have no idea how to prepare for what I've agreed to do, but my legs carry me toward a nearby chair regardless. In the end, I barely manage to write a thing. My brain is so scattered with nerves that thinking straight becomes almost impossible. Instead, I end up lost in an internal whirlwind of worry. Am I really brave enough to do this? What will everyone think of me when I tell them what I've done? I try to push those fears aside. I've already been through this in my mind. The only person being critical of my past misdeeds is me. The audience will probably be kinder than that. I do my best to consider what I want to say and why I want to say it. It feels like I sit there for a strange, rushed eternity before I'm tapped on the shoulder. Skull, you're up. Don't worry if your speech isn't that long. Anything is a great help. I nod woodenly, standing up and following her toward the far door of the room, which leads to the side of the stage. I don't bother taking my papers with me. There's nothing on them that'll improve the situation. The current speaker concludes their moment in the spotlight, thanking the crowd as they clap. A fresh jangle of nerves rattles through me.
Good luck, Skull.
I swivel around at the sound of Brianna's voice, cracking with what I hope is a confident smile.
Thanks.
Turning back to face the door, I flinch slightly as I suddenly come face to face with the person who just left the stage. They grin with relief that their speech is over, and as they stride away, a hand presses gently against my back. It's all yours, Skull. Just relax and have a good time out there. Damn. This is it. Nodding obediently, I let myself be ushered forward, and I hear my name being announced. Idiot Skull. My mind flails in mild panic, but somehow my body takes the reins and shuttles me steadily toward the podium. I probably look a lot more daring than I feel. Gazing out at the sea of faces, I feel a bit overwhelmed. The crowd looks way bigger from up here than it did on ground level. Well, I'm here now, so... Deep breath. I think that's a dodge. I don't think I got CGs for the bad routes. Also, finally we get to see this. This has been in the opening intro to the game since day one, and finally we see it. I think it's a dodge. I think we got the good ending. Triple dodge! Let's go. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the chaos you're about to witness. The only thing I managed to write in my speech notes was that I'd better make sure I get even more sympathy votes than everyone else. That's how I win this thing, right? When I click my fingers, everyone start crying, okay? The room bursts into laughter, and I relax a little. Not a triple dodge. You'll remind you as many times as I did. Okay, but I got the good route first try. I never got a single bad ending. Not a single bad ending. I'll take it. Although I guess it's still not confirmed, but come on. Thank God my wisecracking sense of humor is still intact to break the ice. Okay. No, I'm not here for sympathy. I actually never planned to give a speech, but I ended up volunteering because I kind of realized something. Is this new music? This is pretty. Mental health has so many stigmas attached to it, right? It's hard to talk about, and most people prefer to ignore it because it's easier to bypass something that seems intimidating or abnormal. But the acceptance and compassion here tonight, and in communities like this one, I gesture toward the staff members at the side of the stage. It's incredible, and it really needs to become how everyone reacts to mental health, without judgment. You're all paving the way here tonight, you know? You should be proud of yourselves. The extrovert in me rises up, and I lean away from the podium to coax the audience into giving themselves a round of applause. Their laughing faces as they clap make me smile. Okay, here you go. I'm trying to remember where I've heard this before, because it doesn't sound familiar. But that's enough messing around. I can't avoid why I'm really here any longer. I've heard a lot of different stories tonight, as you have. They're all inspiring in their own way, and I'm not sure if mine's quite the same. I clench my fists, and a sense of complete seriousness comes over me. But I'd like to say my piece if you'll hear it. The room falls quiet as though sharing the significance of the moment. Taking another deep breath, I forget all about trying to stick to any kind of structure and just start talking instead. I've had quite a confusing experience of coming to understand how my mind works and how it got that way. Like loads of people have said, I didn't get a diagnosis until way too late. It only happened a few months ago, in fact. Not only did I not understand myself very well before then, but I also didn't really even notice that's how I saw the world and how I acted in it. It was really warped. For a split second, the dark side of my mind urges me to shut my mouth and run away. To tell everyone that it's none of their damn business what kind of monster I've been, to stop this horrible truth from being unveiled. I catch sight of Ash and Malik in the crowd, and the idea of them and the rest of the office knowing what I've kept secret repulses me. Every fiber of my being screams, stop. But I don't listen. This is my moment, and I don't want to let that darkness take it away from me. Before I'm even fully aware of what I'm saying, it all spills out of me like a raging waterfall. Everything. I talk about my loveless upbringing and how I developed PTSD from it. How my search for love in other places brought on such a stranglehold of desperation that it turned me into a controlling, abusive tyrant. True to my word, I say absolutely nothing about what happened between me and Brianna. The rest of it, though, I fling it out there in all its ugly glory. The manipulation, the stalking, the perceptive that I'd accidentally developed to protect me from pain. The knowledge that I also have BPD, which made everything even worse. I confess it all. I actually stopped looking at the audience for a while, probably because I feel so bad about myself that I don't even want to imagine their reactions, never mind see them. When I'm done, I have to take a moment to steady myself. I grip the edges of the podium and breathe slowly until I feel a bit calmer. And all of that made me really hate myself. I wouldn't blame anyone else for hating me either. But what's the turning point? What's the positive side to my story? Something I learned from this community and from resources like therapy is that all that stuff isn't everything that I am. It's easy to despise yourself when you only focus on the negative, but having properly analyzed my childhood, I've remembered that I didn't start out like that. I was a good kid, a nice person, and all this toxicity is just a defense mechanism. I'm not evil after all. I've learned the error of my ways, and I don't want to be that horrible version of me anymore. I want to take responsibility and improve. I want to make amends and be someone that people are glad to have in their lives. And I think I can do some good in this world if I try. Training yourself out of those bad habits feels impossible sometimes. But with every little inch of progress, it proves to me that it can be okay. I'm a long way from my goal, but I think I might be able to get there now. And that's what I want everyone going through this battle to understand. If someone like me can find a light at the end of the tunnel, then anyone can. Your journey is not hopeless. I barely even know what I'm saying at this point, but the way my emotions threaten to overwhelm me makes me think that I might be on the right path. The other really important thing that I want to stress is that organizations like these, the communities, charities, and such, really deserve all your support. I can promise you right now that I would never have started my road to recovery if it weren't for these people. They've helped me understand my situation and how to go about improving it.
They're the only reason I'm standing here right now. Without that compassion and guidance, I'd be totally lost. I'd probably still be hurting people the way I used to, stuck in total denial. That's why we need organizations like this. They help people to become better versions of themselves, to be good to those around them, and to learn to love themselves again. Slapping a hand to my cheek, I catch a falling tear. Damn it, I asked you to cry, not me. I didn't even snap my fingers yet. The room echoes with emotional giggles, and I silently scold myself for breaking down on stage. However, I seem to have a massive grin on my face too. Looking around, I see quite a few other people crying and smiling back at me. We're all sharing the intensity together. It's oddly beautiful. But yeah, what I really want to say is thank you to everyone here tonight. The organizations that have helped me and so many others to see the light in the darkness, and all of you for your compassion and generosity. Mental health struggles are not shameful or immoral. They're normal. And the more we spread that idea, the easier it will be for sufferers to get the help they need and flourish the way they deserve to. Preach! Before I could say anything else, the crowd erupts into a hearty applause. The sound buzzes in my ears, but it feels almost euphoric. I really did it. I bared my soul for all to see, and in the end, I was right. No one judged me for even its darkest parts. They only cheered me on in my search to find the goodness inside me once more. God, it's incredible. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great night. The applause goes up a notch as I excuse myself suddenly. I might have said too much in the end. The show's probably running overtime now, never mind coming up short. I rush across the stage, my heart beating out a whole symphony in my chest. Why does this feel so good? Was this what I needed to free myself from self-loathing and truly start believing that the light at the tunnel really is there for me? I can't properly understand it, but something inside me feels different now. And I think it's going to change me forever, in the best way. Excuse me. It takes at least 30 seconds before I feel like my feet are actually on ground again. The people backstage clap and congratulate me on a moving speech, admiring my honesty about such a tough subject. I don't know whether to laugh again or cry. I don't know whether to cry again or burst out laughing. The voice of the announcer drifts across from the stage, informing everyone that the event is over. There's a final round of applause and then the thundering of many pairs of feet as everyone leaves the room. I wait for the rush to die down, thanking the staff who keep coming up to tell me how much they enjoyed my speech. It feels weird to be appreciated by so many strangers. When the noise level seems to have fallen, I peek my head back into the theater room. The lights are still down, but the place is basically empty. Almost everyone has cleared out to go home. I glance around to see if I could spot anyone I know. Before I can react, I'm suddenly bombarded with faces and bodies crowded around me.
No, what?
Skull, what the hell? You never told us you were part of the show? I wasn't until about 20 minutes ago. I break into a sheepish grin and he smiles broadly.
Oh?
Well, seriously, you were incredible. We had no idea you've been through any of that.
Hey,
Does anyone else in the office know? I've told Brianna some stuff pretty recently, but no one else, no.
You're awesome.
I think you should be proud of yourself. It's not easy to admit what you just did, and it's even stronger of you to start working to overcome it. I don't think you're a bad person, Skull. I hope you don't either.
I haven't heard this many words come out of Ash's mouth since we first met, and they're so comforting. Yeah, seriously. Thanks, Ash. I really appreciate that. I'll do my best to treat myself and others better from now on. We share our first genuine smile, and Malik claps me on the shoulder.
Totally.
You better. Don't think about all that past stuff, okay? You've left it all behind, and we like the Skull we know now. Focus on that bright future, yeah? Wow. And I thought they were going to hate me. Just goes to show how understanding people can actually be. Sweetie Ash, my beloved. Well, Brianna, my beloved. Ash, my former beloved. Ash is great. Sweetie. Let's go with Sweetie. Thanks, Malik. I will. The pair of them step back to let other people take their place. I'm shocked to see that there's practically a queue of people waiting to talk to me. Next up are my server buddies, who all seem to chatter at once as they shower me with praise. It's hard to keep up with them, but it feels pretty nice nonetheless. I think we'll have a bigger connection online after this. Is Brianna at the end of the line? I'm not sure how long the congratulations go on for, with me awkwardly blushing in the middle. I've lost count of how many times I've said thanks. Once it's over and everyone starts to head toward the exit, I'm treated to one more conversation. This time my heart begins to flutter before she even starts speaking.
Hey.
Skull.
She seems to struggle with what to say, but then bursts into a huge smile.
I can't believe you! You were fantastic up there! I'm so proud of you for sharing all of that.
I shuffle on the spot bashfully, but she dismisses my modesty before I can even get it out.
Hey, it's fine.
Don't shake your head! You seriously did a powerful thing tonight. I know how hard it's been for you.
She pauses, as though making sure she doesn't say anything too private out loud.
You know,
But I know what you've been through. Everything you told me. Everything we experienced.
Yep, experienced is one word for it.
actually,
And to expose your insecurities like that, to be so vulnerable in front of the whole room so that others can understand what it's like to fight that battle? You're so strong, Skull. And you've changed so much. I seriously I can't.
She throws her hands in the air, laughing in defeat.
that's great.
I don't have the right words. I'm just so glad for you, Skull.
I feel like I'm vibrating with a million emotions. I appreciate that she's pleased for me, but I wouldn't have been able to do any of this if I hadn't met her. True in more ways than one if you want to think about it. Because we didn't get this with the other routes. Look, Brianna. My mouth starts to dry up with nerves. Well, also the pills. However, despite how much I've shattered her trust in me, I feel as though I kinda have nothing left to lose after tonight's events. Brianna seems to pick up on my seriousness, gazing at me intently. I do genuinely feel like I've turned a corner now, moved away from everything I used to be. I'm starting to see hope in the future at last. It's so weird to say it out loud. But I want you to know that I'll be forever grateful to you, Brianna. You were the one who made me realize the truth. You set me on the path that led to where I am now, and where I can go in the future.
No.
Don't praise me. It's your effort and dedication that's making the difference.
Well, okay. But still. You know this wouldn't be happening right now if you hadn't told me what you'd suspected about my mental state and suggested I get help. I know it was an awful experience. Oh man, the horror of it all overwhelms me, and that apology that I've had waiting in my throat all night comes out at last. Damn it, Brianna, I'm so sorry for what I did. It was literally inexcusable. You're already giving me way more respect than I probably deserve just by talking to me at all.
It's okay.
Skull, you don't have to.
Yes, I do. I take a quick glance around. Thankfully, people seem to have noticed the seriousness of our conversation, leaving us to chat alone. I know it doesn't change what happened, but I'm so sorry for how I treated you when my mind was at its worst. And I know I deceived you that night, but I don't want you to think that the nice things I did or said were a lie. I've always liked you and cared about you. My feelings were genuine, and I could promise you that. Ulterior motives aside, I wanted nothing but to be around you and make you smile. Her lips part as she contemplates my words emotionally. But you know I don't expect anything now. Not even proper forgiveness if you don't want to give it to me. I have total respect for you, and I just want you to be happy. I'll find my own way forward now, and if it feels alright with you, we can cheer each other on as we make our mental health journeys. You know, as survivors. I'm not sure if any of what I said was okay or appropriate or even made sense. There's a solid silence between us, which feels heavier with every second that ticks by. I'm starting to think that I might have overstepped the mark somehow. However, just as I'm thinking about apologizing and leaving,
Oh, Skull.
she rushes toward me, and I'm shocked that it actually takes me a good 5 seconds to realize she's hugging me. For a moment, I can't react. Then the numbness passes just enough, and I bring my arms around her, holding her softness to me. Her floral scent invades my senses fully for the first time since that horrible night. I've missed it so much that tears start cascading down my cheeks. Oh no, you didn't make the voice actress do that, did you? You did. That's just mean. Going to make Brianna cry, it's going to make me cry, man. I hear Brianna sniffle against my shoulder, so now we're both crying. It's a while before we pull ourselves away. Then Brianna wipes her face and looks at me with a watery smile.
I just can't.
Skull, I don't want this to go on any longer. Let's just move past it, okay? No more getting hung up on that night. I accept your apology.
Oh, I remember she made the crying sound during the end of part 1, I think. So, this beautiful girl crying is about the saddest thing that I can think of. Really? Just like that?
I don't.
We've talked about it, and yes, you absolutely terrified me that night. But now I know that you're not the same Skull as you were when you did that. So it's okay. It's over. I don't want either of us to get upset about it again, alright?
I could hardly believe what I'm hearing, but I nod anyway.
You know,
You proved tonight that everything I hoped for is happening. You've learned from the past and you're taking responsibility to create a better future and treat people with kindness. That's all I could ever ask for.
You're really great.
That's why I'm proud of you, Skull. You broke out of a truly horrifying cycle, and I might have nudged you in the right direction, but everything since then has all been your doing. I see the change in you, and it's wonderful. Her voice drops a little in volume, sounding almost intimate.
Actually,
I knew there had to be a good person underneath it all, and I'm so happy to see that I was right. They're standing in front of me right now. Is this gonna make me cry? I simply can't sum up in words how amazing it is to hear her say all of that. In fact, neither of us say anything for a moment, simply staring at each other with growing smiles. The wall separating us has finally broken down, and it feels so good. Finally, she can stop fearing me, I can stop punishing myself, and we can move on together in whatever way feels right for both of us. We're still friends, right? Friends? I feel like I'm lucky enough just to exist next to her. If that's what you want. I'm always around whenever you need to bitch about Sean messing up the figures again. She giggles highly, and the sound is so soothing to me.
yeah.
That'd be a good start.
I just really...
I do hope we can kind of get back to some kind of normal again, you know? In fact, I was thinking while you were making that speech. Her smile disappears, turning into a sad frown.
That really sucks.
I kind of regret throwing that necklace back in your face the way I did. It was a lovely gesture you made at that auction. I still appreciate how much you thought of me. Hey, you were completely in the right for doing that. Don't regret it. The necklace. She still thinks about that? I hadn't blamed her in the slightest when she gave it back to me. No one would want to keep a memento from their would-be kidnapper, no matter how nice a gift it had been. The fact that she now wishes she hadn't rejected it. My head is so full of swarming thoughts that I could hardly see straight. But as though guided by an unseen force, I reach into my jacket pocket. Yup. Knew it. It doesn't have to end that way if you don't want it to. Closing my hand around the box, I pull it out shakily. I felt like such an idiot carrying the damn thing around every day like a lovesick puppy. I was already convinced that Brianna would never want a token of my affection again, but I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. It was like the only connection I had left to the time when I was true and kind to her before everything went wrong. I couldn't bear to let it go. Has it actually been worth holding on to after all? As soon as Brianna recognizes the box, she gasps sharply, and her hands fly up to cover her mouth.
What?
No way! You kept it? Yeah, I kind of felt like I couldn't part with it. Just in case, I guess. I chuckle awkwardly, but Brianna's expression doesn't change. She's completely spellbound by the side of the box.
Really?
Oh, Her hand reaches toward it almost longingly, but then she catches herself, seeming conflicted. Wait, what does this mean if I take it back? Are you just returning it to me like lost property, or... Oh. Does it mean that we might go back to how we were before? You mean...
Yeah?
Try again. Romantically? There's still a chance after all this? I could hardly believe it.
but she can't have suggested it without a reason. Is that what she's hinting at? That her feelings for me really have stayed somewhat intact, preserved secretly underneath the anger and betrayal? Or would she prefer to just accept the necklace back as a friend and keep things simple? Staring at the box, I find myself lost in a whirlwind of thoughts. The idea of us being a couple again is the greatest thing in the universe to me, but I can't get my hopes up and assume that it'll happen. It's just so uncertain. Somehow I feel my hands retracting the box back toward me, unsure of whether it's right to put this pressure on her again. Maybe we should just agree to be casual friends and...
No.
Okay, you know what?
My attention snaps back to her at the sound of her voice, and oddly, she's smiling.
I want to do this.
I don't care what it means, friendship or more. Whatever comes of me accepting this, I'm open to it.
You're sure? She nods just once, slowly and decisively.
Yeah.
Yes. Only the future, right? It's only the future we'll face together, not the past.
The future, with Brianna in it, by my side, in whatever form that takes. It's all I ever wanted. Yes! No more looking back. She exhales a happy sound of approval. In complete disbelief, I hold the box out to her once more. This time, she takes it from me. Opening it, she beams down at the glinting purple gem inside, as though greeting an old friend she's missed dearly.
Can I ask you something?
Will you? Again?
Of course. I take the necklace and she turns her back to me, just like she had done the night I bought it for her. Our lives are repeating, but with so much more significance, and with true honesty and affection at the center of it all. No more lies, no more deceit. Just compassion and love. I close the clasp of the necklace securely around her slim frame. When she turns back around, her reaction practically bowls me over. Aww.
This is so nice.
Did we get a kiss? We got a kiss for Ash and Malik. Brianna, you are a treasure!
Thanks, Skull.
Her warm hands grip mine tightly, and I feel like I'm floating away into outer space. How could I ever be this lucky again?
You know,
It's nice to have it back. And you, Skull. It's nice to have you back, too.
Overwhelmed, I simply stutter out a euphoric laugh in response. She laughs too, the pair of us crying and giggling at ourselves. The amethyst on her chest sparkles even in the darkness, only outshone by Brianna herself. And I'm going to learn to shine just as bright. I'll do it for Brianna and everything that we could be. For my coworkers and newfound friends, for anyone who ever crosses my path. And most importantly, for myself. This is the first day of the rest of my life. And it's going to be amazing. Nope, final kiss. That's fine. No, it's not fine. I would have liked the final kiss. Oh well. Yep, the Brianna route is canon. Triple dodge. I'm so happy. Oh man. And now I want all the more for there to have been like a post-credit scene for the routes. I would have loved one for Ash. I especially really would like one for Brianna. Just a little short scene just showing what life looks like for them 6 months later. Maybe then they'll be kissing again. But yeah, I do agree. She would be a lot more held back, I suppose. A lot more reserved. A lot more reserved, I guess. At that particular point. I agree it's in character for her, but man, I would have liked to see another kiss. We got a perfect Brianna route, and I feel so good. I feel less good knowing that if I want my platinum trophy, I need to intentionally pick all the bad endings. But that's fine.
I really like you.
It's fine. Brianna's still beautiful. It wasn't perfect, don't lie. Wasn't perfect, but we got the triple dodge, and I'm happy with that. Good ending, by the way. I'll shine just as bright. Wow, what a picture. Ultimate Redemption. Get all 3 good endings. All right. Nice. All right, we are missing 12 trophies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I need to get through the bad endings, which I'm not going to do on stream, because that would suck. We finished the game perfectly. That's what I want to remember. Oh, it was my pleasure, Borealis. This was fun. This was a really good visual novel. I can't wait for them to assign me to their next one whenever we release it, so... Yeah, well... I had a lot of fun with this. Whatever, Dim, whatever. You know what I mean. Well, the perfect ending, I meant we finished with a happy ending with Brianna. That's what I meant. Okay, well, frankly, I don't know what I'm going to start streaming on Sundays beginning next week. Awesome. I guess we'll just have to wait until next week and find out. I also don't know what I'm playing this Tuesday, but I'll be back this Tuesday playing something. Apparently, Clanpool was, like, this last Friday was the last time I was going to play Tokyo Clanpool, so maybe this Tuesday I'll have something new. Anyway. True Colors, Date with Deception. Get it. It's fun. Really unique game. I love how the main character was the bad guy. You don't usually see that, and it was so well done. And the Brianna route is canon. And Brianna is perfect. She's an angel. I love her. Brianna, my beloved. Simple as that. Excuse me. Okay, I'll be back Tuesday, and I guess we'll see what I start playing next Sunday. Thank you, Borealis, for being in this stream and all of the streams that I have done to answer any questions and just to hang out. It's been great having the developer of a game here while I was playing through the game. And as a reminder, my voice acting services are open. I will do everything for free if you want to include me in a future game. Dimlord, thanks for being here, as well as Andrea. Shout out to the lurkers, and shout out to everyone watching on YouTube afterwards. On behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have yourselves a great day and a great week, and in case you don't see me on Tuesday, have a great rest of your 2024. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.